Did you know that your mental clarity depends on your environment and the people you're with? Even if you claim you're mentally resilient, you don't have absolute immunity from the mental fog caused by narcissistic abuse. Narcissists are excellent at playing mind games. They'll twist your mind until they see you going crazy. Mental resilience alone will not help if you keep exposing yourself to your abuser. Today, we'll talk about the 10 reasons why mental fog is common among victims of narcissistic abuse. Are you ready for number 1? Traumatic memory. When you've been through repeated trauma from narcissistic abuse, it's like your brain is stuck in overdrive, struggling to keep up. Dr. Peter Levine, a well-known trauma expert, says that trauma doesn't just leave your mind, it alters how it functions. It means that those repeated bad experiences can fog up your memory and make it hard to think clearly. Your brain is trying to process all that pain and stress, which can lead to mental fog. Listen closely. To overcome mental fog from traumatic memories, use therapy and mindfulness to help your brain process and heal. Addressing the trauma can clear the mental clutter. Let's talk about number 2. Sleep disturbances. When you're dealing with narcissistic abuse, stress can mess up your sleep big time. It's like your brain is constantly on high alert, making it hard to relax fully. And when you're not getting good sleep, your mind feels cloudy and sluggish the next day. Dr. Matthew Walker, a sleep scientist, says, "Sleep is the single most effective thing we can do to reset our brain and body health. But when stress from abuse keeps you up at night, it robs you of that reset, making it tough to think clearly or focus. It's no wonder mental fog has become a regular thing. Take note of this. Prioritize good sleep hygiene and stress-reducing practices to restore your rest and mental clarity." Let's move on to number 3. Frequent gaslighting. Gaslighting is like being told the sky is green every day until you start questioning if you even know what color it is anymore. When a narcissist keeps twisting reality on you, it chips away at your confidence in your thoughts. Suddenly, you're second-guessing everything, questioning your memory and perception of things. This constant mental tug-of-war leaves you feeling foggy and unsure, like your brain's GPS is broken. As psychologist Dr. Robin Stern puts it, gaslighting eats away at your ability to trust yourself. When someone keeps playing mind games with you, it's no wonder your cognitive clarity takes a hit. Now, let's continue to number 4. Narcissistic rage. Dealing with narcissistic rage is like living in a house where a tornado could hit at any moment. 1 minute, everything's calm, and the next, boom. You're in the middle of a storm of unpredictable anger. Constantly bracing for these outbursts leaves your brain exhausted, like it's running on an empty tank. It's no wonder you feel mentally foggy, trying to figure out when the next explosion will come. As trauma specialist Dr. Bessel van der Kolk explains, living in survival mode takes a toll on your brain. So, if you feel like your brain is stuck in a fog, it's because it's been worn out dodging all that emotional shrapnel. You might want to consider this advice. Practice grounding techniques and create a stable routine to mitigate the impact of unpredictable anger and reduce mental exhaustion. You shouldn't miss number 5. Constant criticism. Constant criticism from a narcissist is like having someone poke holes in your confidence 24/7. After a while, you start believing that nothing you do is right, and your mental resilience gets worn down to the point where it feels like trying to build a house with a deck of cards. Everything keeps collapsing. When you're always on edge waiting for the next jab, it's no wonder your focus goes out the window. As Dr. Brené Brown, a researcher on shame and vulnerability, says, Constant criticism crushes our spirit and blocks mental clarity. Keep this in mind. Practice self-affirmation and seek supportive feedback to counteract the effects of constant criticism. Are you still up for number 6? Hyperfocus on the narcissist. When you're caught up obsessing over a narcissist, it's like your brain's tuned into a 24/7 reality show about them. Except you're the one paying the price. You start over-analyzing their every move, wondering what they meant by that one sarcastic comment, and suddenly, you can't focus on anything else. It's like trying to read a book while someone keeps waving a neon sign in front of your face. Dr. Albert Ellis, a famous psychologist, would call this catastrophizing, where you make them the center of your mental universe. So, if everything else feels like a blur, it's because your thoughts are too busy being hijacked by all the drama. Let me teach you something. Shift your focus by redirecting your attention to positive activities or interests, breaking the cycle of obsession. Let's keep it moving to number 7. Lack of personal boundaries. When your boundaries get trampled on by a narcissist, it's like having a fence that's been bulldozed flat and now everything's just a messy free-for-all. They barge into your mental space, leaving you feeling like you've got no privacy and no clear line between their chaos and your sanity. This constant invasion leads to cognitive and emotional confusion, making it hard to distinguish your thoughts from the narcissist's drama. As Dr. Kristen Neff, an expert on self-compassion, puts it, without clear boundaries, your sense of self gets muddled. Listen closely. Establish and enforce barriers to protect your mental space and regain clarity. Here comes number 8. Repressed emotions. When you're stuffing down your feelings from narcissistic abuse, it's like shoving a bunch of emotional baggage into a tiny closet. Eventually, the door's going to burst open. Repressing your emotions doesn't make them disappear. It just means they're hanging around in your brain, causing a mess and blocking your mental clarity. It's like trying to think while someone's blaring a foghorn in your head. According to Dr. Gabor Mate, a specialist in emotional health, repressed emotions create internal chaos that clouds your ability to think clearly. Let me give you a tip. Acknowledge and express your emotions to clear the mental clutter and regain clarity. Moving on to number 9. Feelings of powerlessness. Feeling powerless amid narcissistic abuse is like being stuck in a mental hamster wheel. You're running hard, but getting nowhere. When you constantly feel like you can't change anything or control what's happening, it drains your mental energy and makes decision-making feel like trying to navigate through a foggy maze. Dr. Martin Seligman, a pioneer in the study of learned helplessness, explains that a sense of powerlessness can seriously affect your mental clarity and ability to make choices. Consider this friendly advice. Take small, empowering actions to regain a sense of control and improve your mental clarity. Finally, we're down to number 10. Isolation from support systems. When you're isolated from your support system because of narcissistic abuse, it's like trying to navigate a stormy sea without a compass or lifeboat. You're stuck in your mental fog with no one to help clear things up or offer a sanity check. It's like your brain is running on low battery and there's no one around to give it a jump start. Dr. John Bowlby, a key figure in attachment theory, noted that supportive relationships are crucial for mental health. So when those relationships are yanked away, it's no wonder your mind feels like it's wandering lost in a haze. If you're feeling foggy, it's because you're missing that crucial lifeline that helps you stay grounded. Listen closely. Reconnect with supportive people or seek new support systems to help clear the mental fog and regain stability. Mental fog can feel like a never-ending haze, especially for those who've been through narcissistic abuse. It's not just in your head, it's a real, understandable response to the stress and confusion caused by such toxic relationships. But here's the good news. Recognizing this is the first step towards clearing it up. So if you're dealing with mental fog, cut yourself some slack. You're not alone, and there are ways to reclaim clarity and peace of mind. Keep moving forward and trust that you're stronger than you think.